Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So, this is my first time being live, so I'm actually setting this up just a little bit. Y'all can see that it is kind of short, but it is so cute. Give me 1 second. Let's see. There we go. My laptop up a little higher because I want y'all to see my sign because I definitely invested in it. But welcome to my YouTube channel, everybody. I am Vida Leah. So yes, it's Wine Down Wednesday. I do have my bottle. This is San Antonio. It's actually my first time trying it. It's a winery. I guess this is a winery, but this is my first time drinking this. So if y'all are ready, let's get into it. I'm gonna pour my glass. And then we can start with some updates, okay? It's been a long day for me. A long day. And if you're interested in getting this bottle, it's called San Antonio Winery Cardinale. It's an American red wine and it's supposed to be sweet. So pour me up a little glassy glass. Taste it. I like this. This is good. This is really good. All right, so let's get into it. So everybody, I'm Vida Leah, and thank you so much for joining me tonight for Wine Down Wednesday. So today has been a really long day, honestly. Like, it's been such a long day. So let me catch y'all up because I think the last time we talked, it had to be almost 2 months ago, 3 months ago. It was Christmas time. The last time I posted a video, because I posted one for holiday, and I know I just posted one about my trip to Atlanta, but I never did like a reintroduction. I never said hi to y'all or anything like that. So I'm just coming here today to speak on some updates in my life, to speak about this book that I've been reading that has really just sparked so much of my interest and really made me want to take real estate and take development to the next level. Tell you some things that's been going on with me mentally, physically, emotionally. So yes, I do have my music playing, soothing sounds, because I am trying to wind down. Again, a long day, long week, long month already. And I am just trying to relax just with y'all. So I do have some peaceful sounds in the background. If y'all can't hear them, I'm cutting it up. That's why I reached up, because I got the remote. But yeah, create this sound of peace. So before we get started with the updates, let's just take a second. Take some deep breaths in and out. Let's just take some time to be here with ourselves. Let's take some time to be one, and let's take another sip. So all right. All right, so let's get into it. So right after Christmas, what happened with me? I know I quit my job in November. I quit my job at the unemployment office, and I was actually contracting for them. I wasn't even working. I was contracted with the unemployment office. So I quit, and that's where we left off. So after that, I did go home for Christmas break. I got to see my family, which was really fun. Always hanging out with them is a good time for me. But right before I left DC to go back to Milwaukee, I got another job. Y'all, I work with kids actually, which is so ironic because before I graduated from Howard, I had the opportunity to do Teach for America, but I said, I'm not going to do Teach for America. I'm going to go to grad school instead so I could live in Italy. And now I'm back. I'm in the school. Like, in all be all, I am back in the school, which is, it's really fun. I was really excited when I got the job. One of my close friends, he told me about it, and I applied, interviewed, and I got it. Fun job. I'm starting to see the ins and outs. I'm starting to see the things that we find that are detrimental into schools and that are really helping schools. I do work in DCPS with a organization called Access Youth. And so I really appreciate the work that we do. We work with students for truancy prevention, restorative justice, and I in particular do life skills, which is crazy. I'm teaching kids about life skills like me. But I mean, if not me, then who? You know, it's one of those type of situations. And so I really do like it, y'all. I really do. And the kids, DC kids, have such a different perspective than what I'm used to. I think they go through a lot of things that I'm privy to and I know happens, but it's like, dang, you finally meeting somebody who goes through these things. And so it's a really fun time. It pushes me to be creative. It pushes me to think on my feet. It pushes me to be present all the time. And it also just motivates me to be a leader, I would say, because it's like you can't preach to the kids something that you're not doing yourself. So, for example, something that's really general that I always say is no cussing, like stop cussing, stop cussing. And I feel like I'm taking strides in my day-to-day. Every time I tell them, I'm like, when I say a cuss word, I'm looking at myself in my head like, did you just cuss? Why are you cussing for? It don't matter if you're an adult. You telling the kids not to. So it's just something that I'm really growing. I love it. For anybody who's followed me, anybody who really knows me, y'all know I'm definitely still into international affairs, international development. But right now, I'm in this educational realm, and I really like it. I really like my job. I don't even know. I really like, I have to like my job to be up and out of the house by 8:15 in the morning. Me. Because y'all, dressed and ready with the bag, ready to go. Cat fed, everything. Like, I can't make this up. And everybody knows that's not something that I would usually do. And so I'm really, I'm growing in that aspect when it comes to that. But aside from that, make sure y'all take a sip of wine, okay? I do have mine. For anybody that just tuned in again, it's San Antonio Winery. I keep looking at the bottle because it's so pretty, but it's also my first time getting it. It's a sweet red wine. And it is sweet. It's like what I be looking for in a red wine, actually. I like it. It's not, I don't like dry wines. I like dry Prosecco or a dry white, but a red, I like a sweet red. Okay, but anyways, we're talking about updates. What else happened to me? No, I'm still not talking about y'all. Hinge. I'm doing something wrong. Like, look, I'm about to show y'all my Hinge. I have to be doing something wrong on my Hinge. Like, this is my Hinge profile. And I have to be doing something wrong because the people I get are just not it. Like, they aren't it. And I don't know how to explain it to them. And I don't know how to explain it to the people who created Hinge. Like, why do I get bad people on my feed, but then on my rose section is always popping? it's always popping. Like the grass always seems greener than what I have on the feed. And maybe it's because I'm not watering the feed, but y'all, I have to get better on Hinge. I just have to, because I can't deal with this anymore. I can't deal with this. I feel like I'm young, and I am. I'm pretty. I'm beautiful. I feel like I'm a fun time, and the fact that everybody be asking me, "Oh, you don't be going on dates?" No, I don't go out on dates because people don't take me on dates because I don't know why. I can't even explain to you why. Because people say, "Oh, you got to hang out where they at." I beg to differ because I be outside. Now, right now I'm in the house, but it's Wednesday, y'all. And I'm tired. I'm tired. I had a long week, but I do be outside. I definitely do be outside. So I'm still working on my Hinge algorithm, my Hinge profile. Like, if you got any tips or tricks, please send them to me because I'm so tired of the duds I get on Hinge now. I'm not going to show y'all nobody because I guess that's against their privacy. But just know, if you want to know, like, in your head what type of people I get it. They say they 30. That's the profile say 30, but they look 19 standing next to I'm gonna say a regular car. They standing next to a regular car, pants tight as hell, shoes big as hell, a blunt in their mouth. Like, that's not what I'm attracted to. That's not what I am not attracted to that. I'm not 19 anymore. I'm not 19. I do not want that. Come on now. Okay, let me chill. It's wind down. I got the music going. I'm not gonna let that get to me right now. I'm not. But on to the next subject. Because I did say I was going to talk about this book. This book is entitled Race for Profit, How Banks in the Real Estate Industry Undermined Black Home Ownership by Keeanga Yamahtta Taylor. Now, it has taken me 2 months to get through this book. Literally, I got it in January, and I'm just now finishing it. And I'm going to explain to y'all why it was so difficult for me to get through this book. Number one, it is a lot of information. A lot of information. Quality information, well-cited information, but still vast. Secondly, it's about the Black community, which I identify with. So it's a lot of things in the book that they talk about that I witness on a day-to-day to this day. It's a lot of things that I didn't understand about the Housing and Urban Development Administration or even the Federal Housing Administration that I was still learning. And then it's just like you kind of get sad or you kind of get connected to the stories of the people within the book. So again, it's about like the banks in the real estate industry, but it's also about the federal government. So like they say the banks in the real estate industry undermine Black home ownership, but in my opinion, the federal government set it up so that they could do that. It was so the Housing and Urban Development Administration was put into place under the Nixon administration, like Johnson and Nixon, that era, so the late 60s, early 70s, when a whole bunch of transitional things were going on in the federal government. So we're moving from this civil rights era, the civil rights movement, onto this like empowerment. What do we do to get better and how do we grow? But we're also still in other countries. So the federal government is just all over the place, and you can definitely tell with these policies. For the first time, I start to understand about George Romney and like why he was so important. Because I didn't when his son was going against Barack, I didn't really understand the implications of the Romney name. And since reading this book, I definitely understand now. It's because his dad was the head of the Housing and Urban Development Administration, and it's just like he tried, but he didn't do his due diligence. And it's like they put up all of these housing projects. So it's not even just 4 units at a time or 8 units at a time or even 16 units at a time. They're putting together 1,000-story projects. And when I say story, I'm not saying like 1,000 feet. I'm talking about 1,000 units in one building or 1,000 units to one project. And they don't see the problem. You put 1,000 families in a project and you don't understand why things are becoming ran down so quickly. The building is not being upkept. There's crime. There's poverty. Drugs. You don't understand this, but you're putting 1,000 people. So, and not even just rich people, not rich people, excuse me for lack of a better term, but you're putting, you're not even putting middle class people. And I don't like to use classism, but you're not even putting middle class people into these projects. You're putting poor people, okay? Poor people into these projects who still, the jobs are not revenue. It's not creating much revenue for them. They don't have the best schools in their neighborhoods. They don't have a lot of business in their neighborhoods, access to grocery stores, but you're putting them in these projects, calling it new, and then trying to figure out where these problems are stemming from. And then you implement these policies under the Housing and Urban Development and then Federal Housing Administration that, we're going to start doing these mortgage loans and all of these different organizations and giving them loans and saying, you can have this house, we're going to build a new in these housing projects. But it's like you never taught them, right? You never taught them how to take care of these places. You never put out a handbook. You never, not even once made sure that these houses that were being sold to these Black people and Latino people, because it was happening to Black and brown, you never made sure that they were in compliance. You just allowing different states and cities to do whatever they would like as long as the numbers added up. It's just crazy. And I know I'm talking in circles, but it's like what was going on is HUD, which is the Housing and Urban Development, and then FHA, the Federal Housing Administration, they had funds. So they had all these funds to buy up property and sell them, right? And resell them. And they were giving banks incentives for selling these houses and also real estate brokerage and things of that nature. They were giving them incentives for selling these houses if they met the quota, right? So it's the overproduction of newly built houses that were poorly built at the same time. And then it's no compliance at the same time. So you have the new houses being built, but you also have them saying like, okay, we're going to sell you this house, but there's really not anybody checking what is in compliance. Are the pipes in compliance? Is the paint in compliance? You think paint, that's nothing, but like back then it was a huge problem with paint. It was toxic to kids. You know, like it was toxic. And so you have all of these things going on within these houses. Sewage, you have run down, walls falling in, you have rats and rodents running around, and nobody's coming through to make sure that repairs actually get done, that things get demolished and rebuilt the correct way. And then you're saying, okay, let's just sell it to them because they don't know what's going on. They just want to get out of the project, so let's make some easy money. So this is where that mindset of flipping houses, let's buy a house for really low, then sell it high after we fix it up. But there was no fixing up going on at the time. And Black people, unfortunately, were still buying these houses. And it's like a 50-50 finger pointing, right? It's like a 50-50. Because it's like, why are you buying a house and you're not fully inspecting it? But then it's like, why are you selling a house that's this shitty? Like, it's no other word. Why are you selling a house that's this shitty? And so this book, Kianga, she wrote to me, I feel like, because I've really been thinking about getting into the housing industry, getting into the real estate industry, and it just solidified it for me. It just really solidified it. Like, I want to sell quality housing, quality spaces to Black people, so that we have a chance, a fighting chance to buy something that we can grow in, to buy something that has a strong foundation and that we can just lay on top, because I'm so tired of us having to get secondhand stuff, triple-handed stuff, like, and nobody's making sure that it's together. And unfortunately, the only way that we will ever know that it's together is if we do it ourselves, you know? And so that's why I really appreciate this book. And it took me 2 months to read because it was really deep. Like, it just talked about so much that was going on, like from Detroit, New York, St. Louis, even Milwaukee, where I'm from, just all around the world, Chicago, like all around America, where these huge housing projects were being built, and these real estate industries and these banks were getting rich off of Black people, literally pimping us in the housing industry just to make a quick dollar instead of just putting it into compliance. Like, just put the house into compliance. At the end of the day, you probably are still going to make more money off of me, but could you just, at the bare minimum, just make sure that it meets the needs? At the bare minimum, the sewage is working. At the bare minimum, the paint is clean. At the bare minimum, the walls are intact. At the bare minimum, there is no rats and rodents. Like, this book is just, it's called Race for Profit. Again, please pick it up. It's at the library if you want to. But it's just like a way for you to see inside of the real estate industry, since we get pushed out of it so much. It's just like to really see what's going on from a federal government level to the state level to the local level. It's just insane what people really get away with. And this is the early 70s. The early 70s. We're coming fresh off of the civil rights movement. Like, it's crazy to me. It is. And with that, I'm going to drink some more wine. Because why not? It's crazy. So, I am thinking of starting a book club called Gen Z Reads. And it's really just a book club for people who are a part of Generation Z. It doesn't really matter whatever generation. I just think Gen Z Reads sounds really good. But it's also just promoting and showing the fact that people from my generation, we still do pick up books. And we still do very much like to interact and talk and have insightful discussions and intellectual discussions about literature that we find interesting, literature that we find thought-provoking. And so, again, definitely pick this book up. But what else has been going on with me? I'm still at my place. So this is my 1 year anniversary in Washington, D.C. as a non-student. So no going to school, no anything. So snap it up for me. I'm really happy about that I have been making it. I have been doing more than surviving. I would say I've been thriving. Definitely have been thriving. Definitely have been just happy to see what is next for me in this city. What else? I actually even got to meet just recently my dad's cousins. So my dad died when I was about 3 months old. And so the closest connection that I have to my dad's side of the family is my grandma. And she moved to Atlanta a long time ago. I was still in middle school when it happened. But we stayed connected, of course. But it's like connecting with the other side of my dad's family, like his cousin and his aunts and his uncles. I don't think I really had a chance to do that at all. Not even think I haven't had a chance to do that. And so now that I'm older, I want to take the initiative. And so I thought it was really cool to actually meet some of his cousins and kind of really just understand some more about me, because like we're like, in my opinion, I definitely understand the nurture versus nature thing. So I really feel like we're half nurturing and how we grow up, and then we're half what's already in our bloodline. So yeah. What else has been going on? I'm really excited that I decided to do this Wind Down Wednesday. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's definitely relaxing. Definitely. And it might just be my music because I love these sounds, but it's also just really reflective too. Reflective to just talk about your day, reflective to see what has been going on, what comes to mind, what quirky thoughts do you have. I definitely would like that. So I'm probably going to do another one of these, or probably just continue doing them, or do it when I feel like it, just to see what else can spark from this, because I definitely want to start that book club. And so if the book club starts, then we all have to be a part of it, you know? We definitely all have to be a part of it. But yeah, so other than that, I still have Benji. Benji is doing really well. I'm thinking of getting him a sister. He did have an opportunity to get a brother, but he passed away. Bless little Boosie's heart. I will forever miss him, but things happen. So I am gonna try to get him a sister at some point. And I only say get him a girl because I feel like my son just needs some feminine energy. And if I did get a girl, I would have to make sure she's playful, because Benji is very playful. I would not get a cat that I don't think is compatible with Benji's like attitude, because he's a playful cat. So I feel like he should have a companion or a friend that's just as playful, because when I'm not here, I know he be going through it. I know he be going through it because I go in my closet, clothes ripped down, all type of stuff happening in the closet. I'm like, what is wrong with this cat? And it's because he ain't had nobody to play with all day, not even his mama. But that's not that's neither here nor there. I really think y'all should get this wine. It's really good. Like, I looked at the bottle and I was like, okay, this is a really cute bottle. And then I saw it won an award, the American Winery of the Year award in 2018. And I was like, okay, we'll see. Because I was going to get the Apothic Red because that's like my go-to. But this is good. It's good. It's nice. It's like the perfect. It's like, it's not too sweet. It's like perfect medium. Perfect medium. And I love a sweet red. I love a sweet red. It was such a good choice. It's so fitting. Also, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I went blonde. Under here, yeah, like under these braids, my hair is actually like a cinnamon ginger, and I love it. When they say blondes have more fun, I definitely get what they say. It's like sometimes I be thinking, should I do it? Should I not? Then I flip my hair and I'm like, let's get into it. Why not? Let's do it. Period. I'm trying to think to myself, is there anything else that I want to update y'all on? We can get into some TV shows that I've been watching. Just a few really quick. I definitely watched Euphoria, and I could talk about Euphoria all day, but what I would say the most important thing that I took from the season finale and this past second season is that you have to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror. You know, you have to be willing to reflect. You have to be willing to accept your flaws so that you can work on them. Because if you don't accept them, if you're constantly in denial about something that you think is really integrally flawed inside of you, how can you grow? How can you improve? How can you move forward? If you can't even accept it, if you don't acknowledge it being there, how can you start working on it? I would definitely say that. Some things I wish would have happened in the series. I just really wish at the end, I really, really wish Cassie would have grew a spine. And I know y'all like, what are you talking about? She was doing XYZ, but I feel like the entire season. Give me 1 second, because I don't want to get this wrong. Hold on. Hold on, I'm just don't want to get this wrong. That's why I'm looking it up real quick. Okay. So yes, boom. I just wanted to get their names right. So the entire season, I just felt like we were they were building Cassie, they were building her up and just like showing the emotional roller coaster that she was going through and how like she was slowly turning into Maddie in front of our eyes, right? She was slowly turning into her. I really felt as if at the end, she could have became Maddie. Like they could have became equals. So the episode right before the season finale, when Nate walks out of the gym and he's mad and he breaks up with Cassie. Okay, they break up. Cool. We saw that coming a mile away. But that anger and the rage that it grew inside of Cassie when she was standing outside of that auditorium door, I felt as if that right there should have been her transformation. That right there should have been the push that she needed to not give a fuck about anything else anymore. Like any longer, Cassie is that bitch, no matter what. Like nobody can stop her. She don't care what nobody has to say. She's standing up for her own. And so when she got on the stage, when she pulled the girl off of the horse, I understood it. I said, like, in my mind, I don't think she shouldn't have pulled the girl off. I think she should have hit her sister. But at the end of the day, I understood it because it's like, wow, Lexi, you're really putting all of my business. Like, it's not even certain areas of me. It's not even just little scenes that happen with me or little excerpts. You're putting everything that has happened to me or everything that I have done into your play. As your sister, that's kind of hurtful because it's like, it's really kind of like the story is around me and it's about me, but you haven't told me that. And of course, I know in the beginning when she did write it, it was kind of leaning towards that, but I at least thought for a second she would have been like, okay, maybe that's too much. I don't want to put that on display, or I don't want to make my sister relive that. And I feel like Lexi didn't take that into account. She just wanted to show them like, oh, I really miss you guys. But it's like, Lexi, your sister has feelings. I know she fucked up. She might be psychotic, but she still has feelings. Like, cut her a little bit of slack. And I don't think she cut her any slack within the play. But when Cassie got up to go fight, and then Maddie got up to go put her down, and Cassie ran, that's when the producers and the directors, that's when they had me fucked up. Because I said, nah, we didn't build this girl up all of this time. We're giving her energy, like everything, like her emotions. We making her into technically Maddie's image, like the way she dressed and XYZ. But then when it comes down to fighting Maddie, she's still afraid of her. I feel like in that moment when she walked on that stage, she basically, I feel like that could have been Cassie's moment to really come into and be like, you know what? I don't care anymore. You know, like just that break, like that little bit of edge that I think Cassie could have, like the spine. Like, you know how she was just so afraid of Maddie, I would say, or like didn't want to fight her, didn't want to confront her. But I felt in my spirit that she could have just been like, you know what? No. I'm about to fight you back because I'm mad at you too. I'm mad at the world. I just lost the person that all of this happened for. Because my sister want to put stuff on the plate, I'm ready to fight everybody. So I definitely think that could have happened. And 2, Rue could have given Jules an apology. Now, I know it's more seasons to go. I know everything can't happen in this season, but she could have given Jules an apology, or I just feel like at some point she could have had a little bit more grace, a little bit more patience, a little bit more openness to Jules, because you didn't give her any slack. I feel like you apologized to the boy and you was cool and you went to the boy's house, but Jules, I feel like you hurt her the most. You betrayed, like, I know she's doing drugs, she's the one with the sickness, but like you really betray. You talk about Jules betraying you, but Jules was trying to save your life. Literally trying to save your life. Because if you could have seen the person that you were on the drugs, if you could have seen the person that you became when you couldn't get them, who are you to say you didn't need help? Who are you to say that wasn't an outcry? And I know I've never been a drug addict, so I really don't understand Ruth's point of view. And if anybody does, please let me know, okay? Because I think that is what's disconnecting me just a little bit from Ruth's character and her actions, because I have never experienced a drug addict, if that makes sense. Like, I know people who have been one, but I've never had to experience them in withdrawal. I've never had to experience them with their feelings. I've never had to experience that. So I think I'm a little disconnected from Rue, and I would love a better understanding, or at least try to, because I think Zendaya does a wonderful job, but I don't want to get distracted about what I think should happen versus what I'm seeing on the screen. But aside from that, I love Snowfall. I love Snowfall, but I cannot watch Snowfall while it's on TV, because I think I would go into I would get irritated because I hate leaving off on a cliffhanger. I don't like cliffhangers at all. And so watching Snowfall the first season, I watched it on Hulu, and I just seen like it was a lot of cliffhangers. Every episode at the end was a cliffhanger. I said, I cannot watch this in the regular season. And so I'm definitely waiting for Snowfall. I think Damson does a wonderful job. And Damson, you single, I'm single. If you're trying to find me on Hinge, what's up? I'm trying to go to London soon, so I can meet you in your own backyard if that's what's really up. Okay, let me stop playing with that, man. But I'm gonna drink to that. Yeah, and those two shows right there, I'll leave it at that, because those two are like the main two shows that I think I was really anticipating. Of course, I watch Power and stuff like that, but those seasons have ended. So into this new season of spring and stuff, I think those two shows are what I was really anticipating. However, I just want to say thank y'all so much for tuning in to my YouTube live. This is actually my first time doing a little wind down Wednesday. It's my first time being on live for this long. And it's also it's kind of cool to see how it works. It's kind of cool to just be here and be present and just be talking. And honestly, it kind of feel like you talking to yourself, but at the end of the day, it was good. I'll do this again. Definitely, Gen Z Reads will be coming out soon. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to put the call out on not on YouTube. I'm going to put the notice out on Instagram, on my social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. If you do want to follow me, my Facebook is Alethea Tilford. My Instagram is Pure Leah, and my Twitter is Vida Leah. I know they're all different, but that's me. I'm a different person everywhere I go. But I'm going to pick out another book from the library when I return this one, and then I'll put it out. And if you want to read that and we can discuss it at a scheduled date, we can do that too, because I think that would be pretty fun. Gen Z Reads, okay? So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Please finish your bottle of wine, because I may finish mine. And also, remember to be great. Remember to be beautiful. Remember to be poised. And remember to enjoy. Enjoy being with yourself. Enjoy your time with yourself. And so before we leave, I just want you to take a deep breath in and let it out. Good night.